in saliva. And this fitted a polynomial equation from a third degree with a good correlation coefficient, showing that when the saliva number is greater than 100, we can see that there will be a sharp increase in the C star. In other words, there will be a good salivary excretion for such drugs here. Conclusions. The proposed sixth proposal can be used, or sixth system can be used as a guide for salivary excretion of drugs. Saliva actually is considered an accessible biological matrix for drugs that fall into classes 1, 2, or 3, and hence can be used as surrogate for bioavailability, bioequivalence studies according to the US FDA regulations, when all requirements are met. This is a quote from the USFDA guidelines that states that about the definitions of bioavailability and bioequivalence studies in terms of rate and extent of absorption of the active ingredient or moiety, and satisfaction emphasize the use of pharmacokinetic parameters in an accessible biological matrix. And saliva actually is considered an accessible biological matrix, similar to blood, or plasma, or serum, or urine. And this work was published last month in online in American Pharmaceutics, and was shortlisted for the sixth most informative scientific report award during this year. And we acknowledge all the Jordan Center for Pharmaceutical Research for its support, and we are on the programs, and also for my son, graphic designer Yasser, for the publication of the graphical abstract. And I thank you for listening.
Do we have the B glycoprotein system in salivary glands? Do we have B glycoprotein system in salivary glands?
I did not study the mechanism of excretion, of salivary excretion of each drug, but what we did is that we investigated the presence or absence of drugs in saliva. So, and then after that, I backward tried to figure out what are the key factors behind the salivary excretion of these drugs. And I came up with such system that fitted all drugs under investigation, and also all the drugs from literature fitted the same system very well.
And I understand that class 3 drugs, they have high permeability to the saliva, but low free or unbound fraction, right? And ممكن ثاني يتفضل إنه for some reason there is active transport of these drugs from the plasma to the salivary fluids, which causes disequilibrium or causes a change in equilibrium locally, and at that part of the body. The equilibrium is different from the rest of the plasma because we have some kind of active transporters which cause the transfer of drugs from the plasma to the salivary fluids, which are not existent in other parts of the body. ممكن هذا يكون يعني one explanation for this phenomenon?
For class 3
For class 3. أنا فهمت class 3 is ambiguous، يعني إحنا مشكلتنا مع class 3.
Yes, class 3 ما كان في تفسير للأدوية إنه عمال تطلع بالسلايفا ومع ذلك البروتين باندنج عالي، فما كان في تفسير إلا إنه البيرميليتي أصلاً كانت عالية وبالتالي أدت لظهورها بالسلايفا.
ولذلك السؤال إنه ممكن يكون سبب العلو في البيرميليتي يكون إنه يعني في هذه المنطقة في السليفري جلاندز we have active transporters مش موجودة في منطقة أخرى في الجسم. هذه الأكتيف ترانسبورترز عمالة تعمل depletion of free or unbound drug. Therefore بصير في عندنا بتشتغل هناك البروتينز as a reservoir، فبصير في عندنا dissociation from plasma proteins.
Yes, it could be. What I measure is what's called effective permeability. Effective permeability, regardless of mechanism, whether it's carrier mediated or it's passive, or whether there is a glycoprotein or not. This classification system is a little bit, it shares a key parameter with the biopharmaceutics classification system, BCS, اللي هو permeability value or effective permeability. That BCS is also classified the drugs into 4 classes based on permeability and solubility. Now, these 4 classes are based on permeability and protein binding. The BCS, regardless of the mechanism, whether permeability is high or low, we can classify drugs. For this proposal, again, I don't care about permeability. What I care about is whether it has a high or low permeability. But it's a good question. I have been asked this question many times by referees and editors.
Thank you, Dr. Nasser, for your nice presentation. My question is that these drugs are exposed to different type of enzymatic system at the saliva from the plasma. And with 2 different structures, how you could find out a comparison between those of the concentration in the plasma relative to the saliva? Yani, I think through the various different enzymatic systems, you might have one is high, the other is low, due to the enzymatic, and the enzymatic system in association with the concentration of the drug is more important than diffusion or permeability. And thank you.
Thank you. The concentration in the saliva usually does not equal to concentration in plasma because of other factors, as you said, enzymes maybe or protein binding. Most of the drugs they showed low concentration in saliva, low concentration, but detectable and accurately we can detect concentrations in saliva. For some other few drugs, like for example azithromycin, concentration in saliva was 13 times more than in plasma. azithromycin يعني 13 مرة أكثر من اللازمة. طبعا why don't we use saliva?
The enzymatic hydrolysis in the plasma for the macrolide is more
than in saliva. Very good. Also because it's highly permeable and its protein binding is low. Now, what is the aim of this is that we can use saliva now, and it has been used before for some research, but without this classification system. It was used haphazardly for example, by phenytoin. In the literature, there was 2 or 3 studies done in Brazil, bioavailability of phenytoin in saliva, not in plasma. Why do we have to risk humans and collect blood for drugs that can be, these can be done in saliva. So this is like an ethical issue. Plus it's
ضعيف بالabsorption from the saliva where the drug goes.
From plasma to saliva, salivary excretion.
From the saliva, you give the drug, you give it orally, and from, let's say, no hydrolysis takes place at the saliva, then the drug where it goes to the blood.
Yes. From blood it will be excreted back to saliva. And then when you collect saliva samples, you can analyze all kinetics, and you can do bioavailability studies, you can do bioequivalence, clinical trials, and saliva.
This is the 3 factor for the release of the drug, the saliva. Maybe
release of the drug, release from
يعني first step, the saliva concentration, then into the blood,
yes,
for effectiveness, and then release, degraded.
will be excreted. Salivary excretion is one of the methods or one of the excretion routes in the body. Salivary excretion is a well-known route for salivary.
Will be out of the body
Yes.
through the saliva.
Yes, this is the way. Yes, of course. The drug is out from the body to saliva, and when you collect saliva, you can detect the blood. And do your research. Using saliva, not blood. يعني في in the literature يعني many studies are being done in saliva, not in plasma. في السابق كانوا يستخدموها وما زالوا مثلا TDM of for example phenytoin. We can do TDM of phenytoin in saliva. Gravity drug monitoring in saliva of phenytoin.
Excuse me, can we have one question, please? Last question.
Thank you for this presentation. The saliva is a mirror image for the plasma, but I don't know, I'm not a specialist in this field, whether you need, because of the very low concentration, do you need a special arrangements for the HPLC, for example?
No,
More expensive equipment?
HPLC or LCMS. Yeah, and we have used the same method for detection in plasma and in saliva.
Yeah, but they are very low concentration.
Yes, of course. But we have, I have showed you a big table about the validation of the system. We did not use more sensitive equipment or more sensitive method in saliva than in plasma. It's the same method.
If the UV, for example, absorption is very low,
No,
there is a detector.
UV will not detect in saliva or in plasma. You have to
So it's all or none.
Yeah.
If the concentration is very low in the saliva, how you deal with it?
By HPLC.
In terms of not of detection, of course, but of quantitative, I say.
دكتور ما هو البلازما نفس الحاجه، احنا لما ناخذ عينات دم محتاجين HPLC ولا LCMS.
There is some trials, for example, labeling the drug.
No, we don't have to label it. Just direct measurement of the drug in saliva or in plasma by regular methods, HPLC or LCMS. The point is that just to collect saliva, it's cheap, it's easy, ما في داعي non-invasive, ما في مشاكل من sterilization or يعني we feel like we're سليم. We are like blood suckers, صح؟ الوزارة دائما نحس ان احنا زي مصاصين دماء. يعني كل شخص كل دراسة بنحسب له كم مرات نوصل 500 مل وحدة كاملة من الدم نسحبها منهم وبدون داعي إذا في فاليديشن لطريقة مثل السلايفا نتنمى عليها الدراسة بدون الدم.
What about the very small problem about the volume? How to measure the volume? The saliva is very small.
يعني 0.5 cc is enough.
How accurate you can measure the volume? How many?
No, we don't measure the volume. If you have 0.5 milliliter of saliva, which is يعني accessible, نص ملي من السلايفا كافية للتحليل.
Yeah, but we need the volume in the calculation.
No. It's not like urine. It's not like urine. This is exactly matching the blood. It's like if you are taking blood sample after 1 hour, you can take a saliva sample after 1 hour and measure directly, without volume.
Thank you.
It's very easy, very easy.
Thank you. Okay, so Salim.
كيف صح دكتور؟ it's not it's validated, published. Yes, not any drug. Class 1, 2, 3. Class 4, no way. لازم نروح على البلازما. 1, 2, 3 yes, we can go to saline.
Dr. Nasser, please, thank you for your presentation. If you say about the biochemical study and the blood sample that they reached to 500
100
but if you want to rely on this method to prove that this drug, which is generic, that is the drug absorption to the blood is comparable to the blood of the originator or the research site, you must have prove that the volume of blood or the concentration of the blood is as plasma. You must give many evidence to do that because the analysis of blood is more easier than analysis saliva.
No,
Yes.
not. Saliva is a clean matrix. بالعكس البلد هو اللي فيه بروتين وجنك وفوق. أما السلايفا it's a clean matrix. أسهل التحليل فيها أسهل ودق. يعني if you dig into research, يعني actually they have done this like 15 years ago with special research studies done in aerospace engineering. يعني رواد الفضاء صناع الفضاء بيعملوا دراسات عليهم باستخدام عينات السلايفا. لأنه they cannot take blood samples, they just collect saliva. Nobody knows about this.
Thank you, Dr. Professor Nasser. Our next speaker is Dr. Rand. She is not available, so we will proceed to the next presentation. Dr. Loma. Dr. Loma, she got her BS Pharmacy from Jordan University and Technology in 1997, and her MS in Pharmaceutical Technology and Dosage Form Design in 2000. She worked as head of pharmacy department in King Abdulaziz University Hospital for 7 years. Now she's working as a head of pharmacy and therapeutic department in Prince Badia Hospital for gynecology. Her talk is about how to educate patients about their use of reliable web-based information sources, patients as partners. تفضل يا دكتورة.
Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon everyone. Let's back a little bit and get fresh, but I am not because a little bit feeling dizzy. I'm not allergic like this. I'm taking my antihistamine, so I apologize in advance for anything. My subject actually related to Dr. Early, if he's not here. Let's back to the pharmacy and for profession that serve the community. I'm going to talk about educative approach, how to teach patients and educate them to be more co-producers in quality care system. Why I'm saying that? Before I start the objectives of my talk, I'd like to say that pharmacists play a significant, because pharmacists, there are plenty of pharmacists. The number of pharmacists are increasing. And pharmacists play a significant role in serving the patient's needs because they have more time to spend with the patient, and there are large unused resource of patients. The patients are the largest population that is unused resource in healthcare system. So, if we are trying to involve patients as co-producers in quality care, so I think that the results will be great. We will concentrate on patient education in a very simple way and associated with their levels, with their culture, with their educational levels, and maybe technological, social differences. So we will concentrate on the self-care. The objectives of my talk: define self-care, literacy, and e-health. Explain the benefits of providing our patients with e-health searching skills. State the pharmacist's role in disseminating patient e-health, and describe risks associated with consumer or electronic health searching and how to avoid these risks. List and describe examples of credible patient e-health websites. What is patient self-care? Patient self-care, that the patient is taking care of her or himself. The act of taking the initiative to care for one's own health, that means self-care. Following doctor and pharmacist directions, seeking to educate one's self about own health and related to acute or chronic conditions. Why is patient self-care important to pharmacists? Because medications are often the main or the only intervention sometimes to treat a disease or condition. And other cases, it is medication and management. In addition to patient care, pharmacists are often the last healthcare professional patients that will see before going home to implement a self-care plan. And patient education can reduce unnecessary healthcare services such as emergency visits, recurrent admission to the hospitals, and the costs on the patients. The health literacy is defined as the degree to which individuals have the capacity to obtain or process and understand basic health information, not detailed, the basic and the most related health information that needed by the patient, and services needed to make appropriate health decisions. Poor health literacy is a stronger predictor of health than other factors, and that was done by Committee Health Literacy Council on Scientific Affairs from in 1999, that says that such as income, age, education, ethnicity, or job status, these were the factors that represent disparities in poor health literacy. However, many of our patients have low literacy. For example, this is in US, 90 million Americans, just under half the US population have poor health literacy. So think that e-health education is a matter of urgent or of descent. When we're talking about health literacy goals, we have two main goals. One for the people, that they get the education, and one for the healthcare professionals. Concerning people, the goal is to have the skills they need, because each patient has her or his own needs. You have to identify the state of the patient or the consumer or the customer, identify his state and identify his needs and goals and try to meet his goals and needs. And I will talk about that in the next two slides or few slides about the role of pharmacists in this issue. For healthcare professionals, it is to provide support and facilitate health promoting actions. How can we do that? This slide actually talks about the e-health. You know that e-health is, we mean that it is a web search strategy, education. It is health-related websites and obtaining information from not commercial websites, but authenticated and documented and referenced websites. That is written or done by trained physicians, doctors, and organizations. Why is patient self-care through e-health important to pharmacists?